Good morning, students. I hope you all are very well. So today, let's begin with new chapter of civics, and the name of the chapter is Understanding Laws. So students, here you can see on your screen an image. Do you know where it is being used and by whom it is to be used? This thing is used by judges of various courts. Courts may be district court or high court or maybe the supreme court. Okay, so now let's begin with the introduction of this chapter. Very simple chapter. If you read it very carefully, you will understand it very easily. Okay, let's begin with this chapter. We all know that India is a democratic country and people here in India are important to form, or they are very important part in any kind of government formation because they vote. Lawmaking is a dynamic process as it changes from time to time. Lawmaking in 1950s will be different as compared to lawmaking in 2020 or the current period. New laws with by the time new laws has to be formed or new laws has to be made, older ones have to be amended, or there must be changes in older laws, and those laws which are outdated or which are of no use must be abolished or must be finished so that interest of the people and nation is not harmed. Fourth point, members of the Constitution Assembly, they agree that, or they says that there should not be any arbitrary or any kind of dictatorship in a democratic nation like India. And last point, the most important factor or the most important point in law is that every person in this independent country of India is equal before the law. So now the question arises, are all people equal in the eyes of law? First, law cannot discriminate between person. First point of the law is law cannot discriminate between any persons. Maybe the person belong to different caste or different religion or different gender. Now the second point is the rule of law. It says that all laws or any kind of law apply equally to each and every or all citizen of the country, and not any single person is above the law. Okay, neither a government official, means those who is working in government office or is a government officer, not a wealthy person or the rich person, and not even the president of the country, all or any of the person is above law. Any third point, any crime or violation of law, means if their law is being broke down, then there is a specific punishment as well as there is a process through which person has to be proved guilty. Okay, let's move forward. If we go to ancient India, okay, let's imagine that we are in ancient India. There were many and often overlapping local laws, means there were many unusable or unuseful laws. There were different communities who were enjoying different degrees of autonomy in administration these law among their own, means some rich person in back in ancient India, they were holding good position and good in government, so that they were if there were any law to be made, then they try to make the law in their favor. Okay, and for example, if two person has committed same kind of crime, then the punishment varies on the basis of their caste where the upper caste is not so severely punished, but the lower caste person is punished very badly. But this thing changes as the system of law or the process of law making further evolved. I mean, there were further development during the colonial period or during the British period. So here on your screen you can see a statue of a lady, and she was covered her eye with cloth and having the weight bar in her hand. So she says that this statue tries to depict that the closed eye with the cloth tied around the eyes, that every person, maybe he is rich or poor, the lady is not able to see, but she will deliver the proper justice to each and every person. Okay, let's move forward. It is often believed that it has been often seen that the British colonists who introduced the rule of law in India, means the proper rule of law in India, they were the Britishers. Indian nationalists launched, historians or the person who write history, they have disputed this claim on several grounds. Means not all historians believe that British have introduced the rule of law. The first colonial law was arbitrary. Okay, arbitrary means almost like of dictatorship. And the second one was the Indian nationalists who played a dominant or important role in the development of legal sphere in British India. One example that continued to exist as a part of British law in Act of 1870. The idea of sedition was broadly understood within this act. Any person who is protesting or criticizing the British government in or by any means, he or she could be arrested without having the proper trial. After this announcement from the British government, the Indian nationalists, they started protesting and criticizing the government, and they launched a nationwide or national protest. This marked the beginning of long fight. Means it was the starting of new fight for equality and the demand of self-rule, or which we say in Hindi, Swaraj. The Indian nationalists began protesting and they criticizing the British government. They also began fighting for great equality, as they were forced to obey, because they started to fight for equality as they were forced to obey the rules and law made by the Britishers. And by the end of 19th century, the Indian legal profession, who were related to the court, they began to emerge, came out, and they demand that Indian must be respected in the colonial courts. There were several ways in which Indians played very important role in evolution or making of law during the colonial period. According to the number of new laws has been passed, and old one has to be amended since 1950, when the constitution came into force. And when the constitution was being made, it was meant to serve as the foundation. Means when the constitution was made, it was the foundation for elected representative for law making process. For example, there are many new laws. For example, Right to Education Act in 2009, which guarantees free education for children aging from 6 to 14 years, and the NREGA, National Rural Employment Guarantee Act, which says that there is 100 days of employment to the poor. The Hindu Succession Act of 2005 says that son, daughter, and their mother, they can have or they can get equal share of family property. And with the time duration, there are many laws which has been enacted so to control pollution and provide proper employment to the needy. How do new laws come about? How the new laws were being made? The parliament has an important role in making laws, as for making law there are many ways through which law making process can take place, and it is often different group in society. Means not each and every law idea come to the government, but there it is often been seen that the different groups in the society, they raise their voice or they raise the need of particular law to be made. There is an important role of parliament is to be sensitive for the problem faced by different people in the society, and in this respect or in this regard, it is imperative on the part of parliament, or it is the duty of the parliament to show sensitivity. Means parliament must take care about the sensitivity of the problems, or parliament must be taking care of the problem which are faced by the government and try that people must not face the same problem again in the future. While framing laws or while making the laws, it is essential, or we can say it is very important, that particular group of people should not be favored. Means in a democratic India, all persons are equal before the law. So while making any kind of law, particular group of people or person must not be favored at the expense of others. Okay, let's move forward. Now let's talk about some issues. First is domestic violence. What is domestic violence? It refers to the injury or harm or any kind of threat of any injury which is caused by an adult male, usually the husband, against his wife. Injury can happen by physical beating up the woman or by abusing the woman in emotional ways. It may be abusing the woman can happen in verbal or by talks, sexual or by economic ways. And let's go to 1990s. During the 1990 period, there were various group of people from all over the country who says or who gave their voice for new legislation or to make the new law, so that with the help of those law, the domestic violence incident can be curbed or can be lowered. In 1999, there was a group of activists, a group of some people and lawyers who were known as Lawyer Collaboration. They all held consultation or they all held meeting all over the country, and they played an active part. They were very active in preparing the draft for domestic violence prevention and protection bill. So here is I would like to give you the small process of law making. First, it is draft been made, then the bill is tabled in the parliament, both houses, then after passed by both houses, it goes to president, and when president give consent, then it become law. The copies of those draft, means which we have just read in the second point, it was distributed among all the relevant section and groups, or simply we can say the copy of the draft was distributed all over the country. there was several round of talks on the draft bill. The Parliament Standing Committee, it comes out or it suggested some recommendation, and those recommendation was stable or was came in the December 2002 in the Rajya Sabha and then in Lok Sabha. The Parliamentary Standing Committee, it says in the report that the two houses of Parliament has given the nod to most of the demand which was made by the women organization. And in 2005, a new bill was reintroduced with some changes in the Parliament, and after its passage in both of the houses, the President gave its consent to the bill. So, after 1 year, that is in 2006, the Protection of Women for Domestic Violence Act, it finally became a law, LAW, with immediate effect. Now, the role of citizen is crucial. Means, in a democratic country like India, the role of people is very crucial in making any kind of law, as they help Parliament to frame different, or the Parliament to know the different concern that people might want or they might have into the laws. Second point, from establishing the need for a new law to it being passed, means from demanding of new law till it is been passed, at every stage of the process of lawmaking, the voice of citizen is very important or very crucial. This voice can be heard through TV reports. People give their voice to various issues with the help of TV reports, newspaper you can read. There are many radio broadcasts also, and local meeting. All of which help in making the work that Parliament does more accessible and transparent to the people. So after knowing the process of how new law is made, what are the various important laws till the date, now we will come and read very unpopular and controversial laws. Okay. Sometimes the law which has been made, it can be constitutional, correct law, valid, and it is legal. But it can be unpopular and unacceptable by the people because they can feel that the intention behind making this law is unfair and harmful to the people of the nation. Second point, people might criticize such law. So if people don't like such law, then they will criticize such law. They will hold public meeting against the law. They will write about against the law in the newspaper and in TV also. And in a democratic country like India, it is the right of the citizen, so as he or she can express his feeling or unwillingness to accept the law made by the government or framed by the Parliament. When there is a large number of people who are against the law, then there is a pressure, so it will create a great pressure on the Parliament to change or make the required amendments in the law. For example, there are various municipal laws or the local government laws on the use of space within the municipality limits. Means municipality has decided to use the available space in limits. So that, and due to this, hawking and street vending become illegal. No one will dispute that. It means that not any person will dispute against the necessity for some rules. I mean, it is not like that on each and every law made by the government there is a dispute. Okay. So one point is that people can walk on the pavement easily. Walking space. One can also deny. Means now the another fact is that one can also deny that the hawker and vendor provide essential service or essential products at a very cheap cost and efficiently to the million living in the large cities. If you remove hawkers and vendors or street vendors, how will they earn? So this is the second point. People who think law is not fair. Now the next point comes to us that people may think that the law is not fair, so they can approach the court. So and after that the court will decide in this issue. People can now avail the facility of people interest litigation process, or we can say PIL. They can also file to means the next is they can also file to seek a stay order on any legislation or any law even after its enforcement. Means if there is any law which came into force but people think that it is not fair, so they can go to court and request the court to put the stay order. The court has the power to modify or cancel law. Now, after the parliament, court is powerful to modify the law, or the court can even cancel the law if the court finds that the law making procedure is not as per the constitution says. Another development in the interest of public means to help public. There is a law known as Right to Information Act, means we can say RTI in short. It ensures that the people right to know everything which happens or which is related to government offices. The lawmakers and the law enforcing agency therefore they have to operate under the public scanner. It is also important to remember that not each and every government officials or office came into RTI. For example, army planning, or what is the current actual location of army, what is the procedure of army tacticals, or when they will attack, or how they are planning to attack the how they are planning to attack the enemy. There are some things which does not comes under RTI. Okay, we need to remember, or we must remember that our role as a citizen does not end after we have voted or after we have elected our representative. It is that after this or after electing our representative, we must begin to use newspaper and the various sources of media carefully, which will shows or which will let us know that what are the various work which is done by our MPs, MLAs, etc. and we can criticize their action when we feel that it is important or it is required to do so. Thus, what we should bear in mind what we should keep in our mind, that it is the extent, our involvement and our enthusiasm or the willingness of the people. These all helps the parliament to perform its representative function properly. The parliament cannot perform on its own. People helps the parliament to perform its various functions properly. So students, here comes the end of this chapter. Read the PDF very carefully and listen to this video carefully so that you will understand this chapter without any confusion. Thank you and have a nice day.